Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining our operator meeting today. My name is Hannah Hiccup, and I will be your host. Hopefully you can't hear the construction in the background. And first up is Chris Eisinger. Chris, you can take it away.
Thanks, Hannah. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for attending today. We have just a quick set of announcements for you. The first of which regarding the Form 3, we are in the final stages of testing. We will have the Form 3 available to everyone by the end of the week at the latest. Please stand by for that. There's been some little details to work out that we've come to light through beta testing with external operators, but we're almost there. One of the things that I wanted to remind people about was with regards to out-of-service wells. The Form 6A is used to designate your out-of-service wells, and it's important that you get your Form 6A in before you start filing and filling out your Form 3. So if you intend to list any out-of-service wells with the 6A, make sure that you do that before you start working on the Form 3 when that's available. With regards to out-of-service well exclusions, know that any out-of-service well will not be used in the calculation for your average daily per well value that is used to determine which option you qualify for. So again, that's why it's important to get those out. With regards to providing financial assurance, the rules do say that for options 1, 2, and 6, that you will not have to provide financial assurance for any out-of-service wells. But do know that for options 3, 4, and option 5, you will still be required to provide financial assurance for out-of-service wells, although they're not used in the calculation of the average daily per well value. So again, just know options 1, 2, and 6, the rules allow for you not to pay financial assurance on out-of-service wells, but for options 3, 4, and 5, you would still be paying financial assurance on out-of-service wells. So that's all the announcements I have. I think, Jane, you have a few that you wanted to add. So thank you, Hannah.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Good morning, everyone. I have just a couple of things. The first thing is staff has received questions from operators resulting from an article. I think it was the Denver Business Journal. I'm not exactly sure. The article spoke about the option 6 $40 million comprehensive blanket bond, and the article did not clarify that that is only for wells. So in Rule 702 covers everything for financial assurance for wells. And that comprehensive 40 million bond is just for wells. An option 6 operator will still need to provide whatever financial assurance is required in Rules 703 for other facilities and 704 for surface owner protection. So that 40 million comprehensive blanket bond is only for wells. And if you have any questions about that, please contact me. Our staff has said that they've gotten some questions about that. So remember, look at the rules, don't look at the articles. Well, you can look at them, but the rules are what we're following and implementing here. The other thing is, again, as we're almost ready to release the Form 3, so everyone's going to be going in and creating their Form 3s, which are auto-populated. We've talked about this before, but it's important for you to look at the data that will be used to auto-populate your Form 3. Now, we've brought this up for the last month or so as we're scrambling to get the Form 3 ready. There's data available for you to look at and go through, check to make sure you agree with all of it before it pops up in your Form 3. So Hannah has agreed to drive through the website to show you what I'm talking about. So Hannah, could you please click on data and then select operator name, address, and financial assurance, and put in an operator number, how about 10705, and then click on the first line for Evergreen Resources. Okay, so from this page, you're going to click on one of the newer buttons here, and it's the well status and designation data. It's right in the middle of all those new blue buttons. So if you could click that, please, Hannah.
It didn't really do anything except create this situation down here. I think that was the difference.
No, if you
And
click
it's
on that
blocked.
blue button, it should open a new page.
It's saying pop-up blocked.
I clicked on the button and this is what happened.
You've
And-
got to unblock your pop-up.
Oh, I see. I don't know why. I never asked for it to do that.
Yeah, well, computers are evil.
Lesson to the majority. All right.
Okay,
Yeah, well done.
so the information in these tables is the same that will be used to auto-populate the Form 3. And so there's well status data, there's well designation data. And if you scroll down to the bottom, there is view well list. So if you could click that, Hannah. And so this list you can see it only displays 1,000 lines, and this operator has over 2,000 records. So there's an export to Excel. So if you could click that, please, Hannah. And then pop that open. So you can look at all of your wells. You can see what our database says is the status, shows if the well has federal financial assurance, whether or not it's tribal, the primary designation, and then all of the other designations as yes or no. So you can filter on this. You can look at every single one of your wells. If there's something here that you do not think is accurate, you need to send me an email. I need the API number, the well name, and an explanation of what you think is incorrect. Remember, all of the information here comes from reports that you have filed with us. If it's not right, it might mean that you need to file something else with us, but I will do the research and we'll figure out what the discrepancy is. But you have to specifically tell me, like if the well shows as injecting and that's not an injection well and you don't think that status is correct, you need to tell me that specifically. Please don't just say, this well isn't right. I need to know what isn't right about it so we can figure out what to do about it. So it's not just, you're not only checking status, you're checking everything that shows, every column on here that tells you what we're going to base the automation within the Form 3 that calculates your financial assurance. I think we might want to talk a minute about primary designation in addition to all the other designations. So Hannah, if you could just zap that. Yeah, we don't need it anymore. Thank you. And if you could click on your tab that says well data. So you can see that on this table, on this page, we're displaying two different designation tables. One says primary well designation, and the other just says designation. So, Hannah, if you could please click on the blue button at the top that says designation info. We've got a few lines here that explain what a primary well designation is. Hannah, I can barely see that. Can you make it a little bigger? Whoa, perfect, perfect. So it simply says a well may have more than one designation. A single primary designation must be assigned to a well to prevent counting the same well multiple times in certain situations. So the hierarchy used to determine the primary designation is reported plugged. So a well could be reported plugged. It could also be defined in active. It could also be low producing. If it's reported plugged, that in this hierarchy, that's the most important thing. And so we're going to show that as the primary designation for that well. If the well is not reported plugged, but it's out of service repurposed, that's going to be what we're calling a primary designation. And then it continues on. So in determining the primary designation, it goes in this order. Just because designations are different than status. A well can only have one status at a given time, but a well can have multiple designations. And so we found the need to impose this hierarchy and flag a well with a primary designation for certain things. So that's what that means. And in that Excel spreadsheet that Hannah opened up for us, there is a column that'll show you the primary designation, but then there are columns for all the other designations that still have a yes or a no in them. So you can still see the other designations that apply to that well. So that might be a lot to digest first thing in the morning, but this is all available to you. You can go and look at your list and think about it. And then we encourage you to go through this list and make sure you agree with everything before you file your Form 3, because it is going to be based on this data. Okay, that's all I had for this morning, and Chris and I will take any questions you have about financial assurance and the release of the Form 3 and how this is going to go in our next step. Thanks, Hannah. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jane. And folks can just drop questions in the chat as they come up. And we do have a first question. It looks like the wells that are WO or just started producing are showing up as low producing. Is this something that we should notify you about?
I don't think that waiting on wells they're not excluded from low producing. So low producing is in our definitions. Hannah, can you drive again, please?
Yep, where are we going?
Go to our homepage, go to regulation, go to rules, go to the 100 series, and let's go look for a low producing well.
Oh, too far.
Okay. Can you scroll down? good. And then can you scroll back up to the definition of inactive well? Oh, you're good. Well, that's it. So if you look at D, lowercase d, in the definition of an inactive well, it says a suspended operations well or waiting on completion well with no activity. So that is an inactive well. And Hannah, I'm not going to ask you to go back down to the low producing definition, but the low producing definition says an inactive well is a low producing well. So since a waiting on completion well is inactive, it's also low producing. It's not excluded. So I hope that answers that question.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Hannah. Great driving.
Oh yeah, you know me, I love to drive. Next question is, I got on a bit late, I likely missed it, but when will the forms be released and what are the due dates?
So we will have the form released by the end of this week. And when we do, we'll put a homepage announcement and also send out a email to everyone in the operator list, letting them know that that form has been published and is available. The due dates are set by rule, and there was an NTO additionally. But if you are in an operator who operates more than 50 wells, your due date is October 10th. And thank you, Hannah, you're ahead of me. October 10th will be when your filing deadline. If you have between 10 and 50 wells, your deadline is now November 1st. And for everyone with 10 or fewer wells, your deadline will be the end of the year, December 31st.
Great, thanks, Chris. And folks, you can look at this NTO, it's on our homepage, it's right here. All right, next question. Someone else commented that they are also seeing wells that are new to production showing up as low producing. So we already covered that, I believe, but if you need clarification, please let me know or let us know. We'll just give folks a few more minutes to type in questions. Oh, while they're doing that though, let me pull my slideshow back up. And if you need to be added to the operator meeting, you can email me here and I will add you to the operator email list. Another question or comment maybe. 5 business days is not a lot of time to finalize the forms. An extension should be considered. Thanks for the comment. The next question.
Yeah, thanks. Again, I'll just comment there that the form does auto-populate. So once you actually get to the form, you should see that it's all the numbers are provided there. So you're not having to spend a lot of time beyond just looking at the numbers. And we encourage you to look at the information that we already have available now.
Thank you, Chris.
Plus, if we release it at the end, when is it due? I thought it's due the 10th. Aren't you going to have 10 business days to?
Probably.
Well, if it next week would be because of the weekend.
Oh,
Jay,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, next question is on the definition of low producing that Jane just showed, it has the note. An oil or gas well that is completed for fewer than 12 months.
It looks like oh, I see, yeah.
It was somebody else put a question in too. So thank you for that. And the next question, on September 1st, you estimated the Form 3 would be issued September 10th and gave large operators 30 days to file. We need 30 days or more from the actual issuance of the Form 3. Not a question. Do you guys want to comment or do you want me to move on to the next question?
I don't have any comments.
Next question it is. All right, thank you for your comments, folks. We appreciate those. And the next question is, when will the 5B be released?
We're focusing all our resources on the Form 3, obviously. The 5B, I would hope would be released in a few weeks. So that's the answer.
Thanks, Jane. And we'll give folks a few more minutes to type in questions. These are the next operator meetings that are on the list for this year. I'll go ahead and plan them for next year. So we'll have some more dates for you next go around. Next week on October 4th is tentatively the last tentative financial assurance meeting. But if we find that folks are finding them useful and need the extra guidance in between the regular operator meetings, then we'll just continue until the need is not there anymore, I think. And again, here's my email address. You can email me if you want to be added to the operator meeting list. And we also use this list to send out a notice to operators. And so if you want to be informed, let me know and I will get you on the list. I think we've reached an end in the questions. It's been a few minutes since anyone's put one in. But if you still have questions that we haven't been able to answer yet, please, you can email Jane directly. Sorry, Jane. Or if you need something that you think I can help you with, you can email me as well, but I will not be able to help you with any of these forms. All right, well, thank you everybody for being here and for taking the time out of your Tuesday morning to learn more about financial assurance forms. And we'll see you next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you.